In this episode of A Better Conversation with Thomie Israel, I'm bringing out the guy. I'm bringing out the OG of the hospitality hopscotch, the one that opened the doors for so many people, a pleasant guy, the fan favorite, the people's champ of the hospitality hopscotch that show everybody how to do a $2,000 a week. The guy that we appreciate so much, my guy CC, man. I appreciate him so much for coming today, man. This is going to be a good one. A Better Conversation with Thomie Israel. My name is Thomie Israel. My mother did not give me that name. I gave myself that name with the hope that I could live by it, stand by it. And when it's all said and done, I lived up to it. To my right, you introduce yourself, my man.
Yo, it's Claudie Sybil, a.k.a. CC. Everybody know me. If you don't know, you're going to get to know tonight.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, y'all know here at A Better Conversation with Thomie Israel, I only bring people that inspire me, that motivate me, that I admire and that I respect. So if you sitting on the right of me, it got to be all the above. And this gentleman is all the above, bro.
That's a fact, man. Same thing right back to you.
Yeah.
Since day one, I always knew you was going to be in the game for the long haul because you asked certain questions. When I spoke to you the first day I ever spoke to you, you came in humble as can be. You know what
Appreciate that.
And I think you just telling me you just came home or something like that too.
Facts.
So I had more respect for it because for someone to come home and still have a mindset to still get it instead of go back to block work or doing something that'll land them back in jail to spend more time away from their family or whoever your loved ones are. I really respected you from that same day. I was like, man, this guy's probably gonna go somewhere if he really stick to it.
Right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. The game we play, we call it hospitality hopscotch. That's what I call it. Hospitality hopscotch. Because what we can do with these apps that they got, you could go in, let's say you want to run up in a college. You sit in a college in their event division. Right. And you doing their event division. And then as soon as somebody start acting funny, you hop out of there. You might hop at Mount Sinai Hospital. That's
a fact.
Play at my hospital, Mount Sinai Hospital for a little bit.
That's a fact.
Somebody start acting funny there, skip out of there. Go one of them corporate buildings. Drop in Google, BlackRock, S&P, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Grab a bag there.
I think that was one of the best things that could ever happen to us, that we had options. You know
right.
What I mean? In the beginning, when it first started, we was limited to a lot of things. Like a lot of people who ain't know from the ground up, like maybe work like 5 gigs. Like, because it wasn't expanded the way it's expanded. Like now, right now, you can put your hand in different many pots in this whole game right now. And that's what makes it so like good and lucrative for yourself. Like, especially when you get good into spots with certain people.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Especially like, remember, we was in Pelham.
That's a fact.
Tracy.
That's a fact. Tracy, the big
that's the god right there, bro. Number one,
You
bro.
get in with him, you're going to get a couple of dollars. You can run the summer numbers up.
Bro, you good. Even when like winter was slow, he still found some vibes for us to get into, like, especially if he liked you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about creating a lifestyle, not even a lifestyle, creating like good partnership with these type of people. Because at the end of the day, what you say holds weight, how you move hold weight. And at the end of the day, if they go home and they're in bed and they think of you, as far as their work and business goes, it works out in your favor because all they're going to do is push your name to the next person that they might know that might need help during a certain season that they might be slow, but that season for them might be booming at that time.
Facts. And it's like, just think Uber. It's way bigger than Uber because Uber, I can run up in these apps and play the app game. I can play the hospitality hopscotch and grab me 15, 18, 2,000 a week without a car. Uber, you got a car, you got to pay for gas, you got to pay for maintenance, you got to pay for the battery, you got to deal with this, we just taking all of it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You ain't got to pay your car note is your car note. You could grab it all, and that's the good part of these joints.
And if you smart enough, like I always tell people, look, man, if you making $300 a day, right? Put 25, 50 away because you got to pay that tax at the end of the day. If it ain't a W-2 job that you're not doing and you're doing the 1099s, put a little money aside, It's just like, for instance, we come from the streets.
Copy.
Like, we hustle.
Copy.
Like, I grew up hustling.
Copy.
So at the end of the day, I always knew, the law would catch up to me at some point. You know what I'm saying? So if shit really hit the fan or if things got really crazy, I got to have some lawyer money at the end of the day, right? You can't just go into the game thinking like, all right, I'm gonna get this big bag and I'm gonna blow this big bag at the end of the day. Now you have nothing to show for it.
Right.
So, like I say that, like, you always gotta make sure you always have something stashed away. You got that game plan going on for the next day. And even like me, you know, Thomas, you know me. I don't think just today or tomorrow. Right. I'm thinking 3 months ahead. Like we had a conversation earlier.
Prepare for war and time of peace.
Like I'm 100 days in certain spots. You feel me? When I go work in a spot, and I make it known that, hey, I don't want to be a short-term worker for you. Right. I like being here, and I already know your system because I've worked the system in different places. Right. So it's the same format. I might need to, you know, work out some kinks in different areas that you might have going on with certain some of the things. But at the end of the day, I can master this. Once you show that confidence, one thing I noticed, when you show confidence in places that you go, and you make it seem like, yo, you've been here before and you never been there a day in your life, then people gonna look at you like, man, this guy got it. Like he got the juice.
And we don't. And for the other episodes, I really didn't put the apps names out there because they were not sponsoring. But today we're going to give it up. Today we just going to let it all out. You know, because I want everybody to get money. Because you might not get rich off this joint, but it might save you. You might just need a phone bill paid.
That's a fact.
You might just need to pay your rent.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You might just need to have an emergency. You need to run and get a little $200-$300. So today we're going to give up the names, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to give a few. I mean, you could piggyback off that too. Right. We're going to start off with Instawork.
Instawork is number one right now.
That's number one.
By far, Instawork is number one. Jitjatjo, that's good for entry level.
100%.
If y'all just coming into this game, Instawork quick, those are cool. Y'all not going to get the big numbers over there, but it's going to give you the resume. They're going to give you the systems. You're going to learn how to do it. Yeah. The numbers are not going to be, you can run in there and pay your phone bill.
That's 100%.
Single moms, you got a situation, run up in there and pay a bill.
You're going to get a gas payment done.
Yeah, that's what the electrical bill. Something. You know what I'm saying? You need to grab $180. Go. Those are good. Jitjatjo is good for entry level. Yeah. But when you want to play the big boys and you trying to grab that 14, 15, 16, 2,000 a week, you got to come play with the big boy Instawork.
Like my first year, it was slow motion. But my mindset always thought like it's going to grow. You know what I mean? Like if I
you day one, you was with them from the start.
Right. I was putting the word out. Even when I wasn't getting paid for putting the word out. You know what I mean? Like
they didn't have the referrals then? They didn't have the referrals?
They didn't have nothing, man. They had what was that? Snack Magic. That's what I remember having. Right. I think I did like a couple gigs off that joint. And how that worked, shout out to my man Troy. Troy was there day one.
Shout out to Troy.
Yo, how they had Snack Magic or Down Pack was like, yo, they'll give you like a $25 Amazon card if you did a certain amount of number of boxes, right? Or the more boxes you did, the more increase of the Amazon gift card you got. Right. Then they started noticing like,
with your pay though, right?
Yeah,
your pay plus the Amazon gift card?
was separate, right? So they'll give you that either through the app or they'll send it to you to like a text and you click on a link. You buy whatever you want through Amazon. But for the most part, that was like basic, the only thing that was on the app jumping for the most part.
Right. How about because when I came because I was a Jitjatjo guy. Yeah. And I'm gonna get in their ass. I'm gonna get in Jitjatjo ass because y'all we gonna get to you guys. But when I came into Instawork, shout out to Miss Brimbry, Tamika. I love you, Tamika.
Yeah, now Tamika's a GOAT.
Yo, she put me on, B. I ain't gonna lie, man. She a little crazy sometimes, but she put me on. I appreciate it from the heart.
One thing is she's a hustler.
Yeah, she got me. She was with me. She came under me. I had a supervisor position, which running the show, running the contract for Legoland, and that's why I met her. I was with Jitjatjo. Copy. Nice numbers. We was running up the Legoland. It was I was taking a bus of 75 people up the Legoland for Jitjatjo.
That's fire.
She came in working. I liked her style. Gave her a supervisor manager position, and that's how I met her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Good people. But when I came into the tail end, they was giving out, if you did 15 jobs a month, they was giving you $100 bonus.
That honey was
that honey was pretty. That little honey coming plus your money.
Remember, if you're a business person, you gotta give incentives out to people. Right. So just like I look at it like how I do with my kids, especially my son. He's 13 now, so I gotta give him something to feel like, not saying he's important, more so like for him to feel like, if I do this, I could get what I need. Too, you know what I mean? So like, good grades. I need good grades. I need football practice. No drop balls. I need, so all that's going to do is it's going to motivate you. If that's what you want, and you know that, like, you have a goal in end,
right?
And it's something there rewarding you at the end.
Okay,
you're gonna do whatever you gotta do to get that, and that's how I was, and I think the rest of us, I can speak for the rest of us.
Right,
15, man.
15 is easy. 15 in a month. Let me get that. I'm gonna get my money, and you gonna throw me 100? Come on, they called it platinum. Let's take that. I'm taking that. Give me that. That's phone bill.
We was eating every month.
Every month. I want to jump back to the beginning, man. I'm gonna ask you this question: where you from, and how you got there?
Brooklyn.
Okay,
we're gonna start off with
stand
that. Brooklyn,
up.
Straight up. Mother and dad Haitian, African descent.
What they say? Sabase?
Sabase.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Just grew up regular, crime infested neighborhood, drug infested neighborhood. You know how that goes. 80s babies type vibes.
Right.
Made it out. Didn't think we could make it out. You know what I'm saying? We
two parents home.
2-parent home, man. I was very, very fortunate. I was very fortunate. 2-parent home. I grew up with friends who, let alone, didn't have one. You know what I mean? Drugs took over some of my friends' homes and stuff, so they had to like figure things out on their own. And luckily for us, what happened was, I got a good core group of friends.
Okay.
Right? And I could count like on my hand my core group of friends, bro. Like from snot-nosed sandbox to high school up until going to weddings at this age in my life. You feel me? So it's hard to find those type of group of people to say you grew up with and you still friends with, right? And I always say that to say this is like, when you find a core group of people, like I look at you as a core group of like, not saying like homegrown friend, but like someone I met along in my life that I could say, look, I want to come on this platform that you got and support it because
appreciate that.
I've seen where you came from to see what you're doing now. It's just like amazing.
Right, I appreciate that. I really do. I really do from the heart. 100%. I really appreciate that, man.
And I'm always ask you the same, like, what's your name? Where you from, man?
Yeah, we're high. Hey, man, my name Thomie Israel. I'm from Harlem, man.
There we go.
Hey,
it's
man.
A whole world by itself.
Yeah, but I came, how I got there. My family came from Tennessee. My grandfather was in the moonshine business. And it's funny you asked. I'm glad you asked me this question because sometimes in this podcast I ask people, where you from and how you got there, and they panic. They don't want to answer. I don't know if they think ICE gonna come get them. I don't know if they think that the old slave masters from 1800s gonna come and make them a slave again. They don't want to answer that question. How you got there, man? I know you from where you from, but how you got there is what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? So back to me. I'm from Harlem. My family came from Tennessee. My great grandfather ran the moonshine business in Tennessee. He did all the the blacks back then had it hard. We had it hard back then, but they would celebrate on the weekends.
Oh yeah.
So it was a lot of what we call now after hour spots, but they had shacks in the back of the woods where people would just come and just celebrate, just have a good time. They would dance and drink.
I think that was always our mindset too. You will have a Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
It could be the shittiest Monday through Friday, man. But once that Friday hit, Saturday hit, you just feel, man, you feel uplifted no matter
let me just feel good.
You get around the right core.
Yeah, and the right core people. And that's where they had the shacks in the back in the country and the deep in the country. So he supplied all of them with the moonshine. Right. So, he's doing his thing, and then I guess the Caucasians, they figure it out that this man is doing X, whatever he's doing. Right. They want in.
Yeah, of course. It's never tax. They got to tax
they want to come in, try to do what the sheriff and all that. Yeah. And my great-grandfather, he wasn't having that. Yeah. He was like, I built that, and he said, yo, you know what I'm going to do? He said, I'm going to play it fair, because he understood business.
Right.
I'm going to play it fair. Sheriff, you want to cut? This is what I want from you.
Right.
And he took care of the sheriff. Right?
100%.
I remember my grandmother telling me he took care of the sheriff. And then the sheriff got greedy.
Of course.
And then they want to take the whole thing and make him a worker. Right. He wasn't going for that.
Right.
He stood his ground. He did what he had to do. Whatever he did. And then family was already, one uncle was already in New York. His brother was already, he said, yo,
make that move.
You did that, whatever you did, pack up the family, get on out of there because they're going to hang you.
Right.
They're going to hang you.
And those were those times and places where they got
exactly
people of our color.
Exactly.
And hanging. Like New York is a little different. It's always been a business type of town, so it was hard to just lynch people out in broad day in New York. Opposed to Tennessee.
They were just hanging them in the country.
Hanging, no matter.
So he did what he had to do, and my family was like, my uncle was like, yo, come up here, you a hustler.
Right.
You might can't do no moonshine here, but you a hustler. Get the family out of there for they find y'all and tear y'all. Get on up to New York. They came up to New York. I think they landed in the Bronx, Harlem. And then he did his thing,
right?
And then how life. That's how I got here.
Got you.
That's how I got to Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So and that's how I built from there. And I appreciate you asking me that question, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Harlem, but I had to get here some kind of way.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's Tennessee.
Yeah, just land. My family brought me. My grandfather. My great grandfather gave it to my grandfather. My grandfather, installed certain things. That hustling, that hustling mentality inside of me, and I appreciate him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're gonna continue to build. How you got to the app though? Like, what got you to the app? Like, how you tapped into that app?
Funny you asked me that. One day I think this was so COVID happened. That's what it was.
Okay.
COVID happened.
Okay.
And I was just scrolling on Instagram and I'm scrolling, and I see looking for work. Mm-hmm. Click on this link.
What you was doing before that? Let me ask you. What you was doing before?
I was a paint technician for Benjamin Moore. Shout out to Benjamin Moore. Shout out to all the Genovics in the city. If you know me, you know.
Copy.
Probably one of the best paint techs in the world. And we partnered up with Pinterest, where like anybody who need like designs, like, or if you needed somebody to like help decorate your household,
right,
pick out colors for your household. Like people have a hard time. People think like, yo, it's 1, 2, 3 picking out colors. It's really not. Like it takes a lot to coordinate colors together. You know what I mean?
Got you.
If it ain't just basic colors and you trying to mix it up, it was a little difficult. So when we linked up with Pinterest, it helped because people would come into the store, they would see like our promos on Pinterest, and they would see me normally as like the paint tech. So they would come in, it's like, hey, I saw you on Pinterest. That's crazy. And we saw that you help out other people pick out great colors for their household and figure out, what's the best base colors to start off with.
Copy.
And then I would get people to come in for stuff like that, and then I'll help them out with the coloring. And then
did you get laid off or?
I got furloughed. So what they would do is they'll tell you come in to the office like 2 days, maybe 3 days, and then the rest you could just stay home, which I think it was perfect for me because, like I said, I got kids. I had to stay home because they was doing a hybrid. Some was going to school sometimes. Some of them, they would stay home.
Right. But
then I was starting to see those Uber Eat prices after the week go by. And I'm like, damn, I'm spending a lot of
money.
My kids was hungry kids, man. Furlough wasn't bad, but I'm one of those guys. I don't really like to stay home too long. Like sitting on my behind for too long.
So you started strolling.
Yeah, bro. I started scrolling, Graham, and I'm like, all right, let me check this out. I'm always curious. Check this out. Checked it out. Read it. I said, what's the worst that could happen? You know what I mean? Like, just fill it out the app. Paid like, I think this is when they used to do a background check for like $25, $30 or something like that. But they wouldn't ask you for no payment. They would just take it off your first gig.
Right.
So I worked Snack Magic, like I was telling you. I got through the app, worked Snack Magic my first gig. And I also met Chemo there too. Shout out to another person, Chemo Swift. Swifty, man, if you here, I see you.
Yeah, he did. I try to get him on, man. Yo,
pull up.
You pull up, bro.
Yeah, pull
Stop
up, man.
Stop playing, man. Know you had the baby. Congratulations on the new baby. Congratulations, Chemo. Appreciate you too. I like Chemo eat right.
No, 100%.
Nah, he eat right. Yo, I like that young brother. Very disciplined brother.
My guy.
Very disciplined. And his twin is Minnie. You ever ran into Minnie?
I don't think I met
Minnie. Got the dreads. Good money.
I've heard.
Yeah,
I don't think I met him though.
Yeah, good money. Mm-hmm.
We end up working Snack. Snack was cool.
Right.
And then COVID happened, so Javits was the only place you could get your shots at.
Yeah,
at that point. So I filled it out, saying I want to work for Javits. Got there. And they had us, so there was levels to the floors on Javits. If you've ever been there, they had us in the basement at first.
Okay.
And I guess, again, my work ethic speaks louder than I ever spoke in my entire life.
Okay.
So like people who understand body language and work ethic will always know who's who in the room.
Right. What is true?
So like never to toot my own horn, bro. But Tom, you can always vouch for this, bro.
Right.
I could walk into a spot and my energy is felt.
Right.
All I gotta say is most of the time it's good morning, you know what I mean? Or good afternoon, depending on the time of the day. And it speaks volumes. So once I get into that, and then when you get into a spot, and I always tell people, when you get to a spot that you're working at, always ask, hey, what can I do to help out?
Right.
I don't want to just sit or stand around.
Right.
That shit blows people's mind.
What is true? What is your strategies to this, man?
It's always a mind game that you got to play with these type of people, because at the end of the day, you know, your ratings on the line. Now these days is ratings.
Yeah, ratings is serious.
Before when I first started, it was none of that.
No ratings, right? That ratings is serious. I wrote an article in my newsletter say, is Instawork causing depression? Because everybody be so nervous about going to it, because they get that 1 star. That drop your pay. If you was getting 30 an hour, that drop you down all the way back to $18, $20 an hour.
And that 1 star hurts you more, because what happens is you got to build, like, you got to work 15, 20 gigs before you see
bring it back up.
But I always tell people the tricks of the trade of that, right? Let's say you working at, let's just say you worked an off job and you got a 1 star at that off job, but then you go to a job that you always working at. Speak to the manager like, yo, man, I went through a situation, because I had that happen to me before. Zulima could tell you the story too if she ever come back up here. I had worked, it was what, the bar crawls joints.
Right.
And I was on my way there. She was the backup. They end up canceling me as I'm getting off the train. So I'm like, I bet, cool, we good.
Right.
But Zulima
thought
didn't
you would
even
get half of the pay.
Yeah, I thought I was good. To be honest, I didn't even care if I got, I don't really care about the half pay shit. If I got it, I got it. Cool. I'm not gonna stress nobody on it. I'd rather know that I ain't get 1 star or nothing or a bad review. I could keep the money. I don't care, bro.
Right.
But I got there. Zulima didn't want to be there. She was the backup. So I'm like, yo, I'll work it for you if you don't want to be there.
Right.
So the guy agreed. We talked on the phone, everything. Bro, I worked that gig for Zulima. I left. I got a 1 star. I said, oh, man.
After you worked it.
But luckily, and again, that's an off brand. I just was being, I don't want to say greedy. I'm just a hustler.
Right.
I was working a double that. That would have been my double for the day. I already did my gig for the day. I was good.
Yeah.
Right. You know me, I'm just like, I ain't got nothing else going on for the rest of the night. I might as well go get more money.
Right. And you're a general. You're day one. You've been in this. I saw you with the picture with the owner, the Instawork and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question, because you took the picture with the owner. Do you still get to relate with him, or that was just a publicity stunt? He took the picture and you never heard from him again?
I think that was just a whole publicity stunt, which I was already prepared for.
Right.
They end up making me do something on their Instagram and TikTok too. If you ever go on their Instagram, TikTok.
Did it pay?
Nah, it was no pay. And I think it worked out for both parties.
Right.
Because it exposed who I was to the industry too.
Right.
And it helped them, because whenever I show people, like street people, like regular people's gonna understand to go click on the app and go read. But street people never believe. Like, what you mean you made 300 and you got paid 5 minutes after you clock out? Nobody ever believes.
Yeah, they don't believe that thing dropping right into your bank account.
We worked in the industry in our whole lives, knowing that we was getting paid every Friday or
and you getting paid 2 weeks later after you did that week. Now you're getting it right in your bank account, and I'm in a jam, and you telling me I go work, and then as soon as I leave, it's dropping right into my bank account. That's serious business, man.
Yo, when that shit first happened to me, I was lost for words. I'm like, but back to the not for nothing, but back to the Javits.
Right.
I end up working the basement joint. The lady said, something about you, I like how you work. I'm gonna take you upstairs, not knowing that's where the real money was, where everybody was getting their shots. I was downstairs where nobody saw you, nobody knew who you was, nobody. So I'm assuming this was probably like training day to see who she wanted to keep and who she wanted to let go. Got upstairs, and then I got a text message when I got home that we was getting paid like some odd number. It was like 30 for the gig, and then a plus 40 on top of that. So I'm making $70. But it never registered until the first day I worked upstairs, and then I clocked out. I see I'm leaving out of there with like $300.
Right.
But then what threw me off even more, every Thursday we got like a residual check. So what you did that whole week, seeing like 1,600.
Damn, that's a nice. And you talking about people starving because that was the pandemic time. So you just you rocking 1,600,
bro.
Breathing easy.
100K that year. I made my first year working for Instawork, man.
That's amazing, great look, bro.
I never understood, and on like I said, I'm a double. They had triple shifts. I'm doing double triples.
Everything. Give me everything.
Give me all of that.
Put it all in the bag. Put it all in the bag. I never know when this
is going to end. So I might as well take
prepare for war and time of peace.
Exactly. I got to take everything I can, because at the end of the day, once it's over, it's over. Yeah. I don't want to have no regrets in my head. Like, damn, I should have did this, or if I did this, I would have had more money in my. Nah, I needed everything.
And I asked you that question because you did the thing with Instawork where you was took the picture with the owner and all that. He just raised 160 million. They not playing no game.
Yeah,
when you raise a whole 160 million, that means your IPTA, that means your valuation.
Yeah.
That means the company's a $1 billion company. Because if you raise 160, 5 times that is your valuation.
Yes.
So 5 times 160,000 might get you close to $1 billion. So you were sitting next to a billionaire. I said that because I was the guy at Jitjatjo. Well, y'all was still at Instrawork. In 2019, I was at Jitjatjo. Yeah. I did the commercial. If you go see Thomas Jitjatjo on YouTube, you see my picture come up. I'm with them. They did the Wall Street Journal. Yeah. I'm in the Wall Street Journal with them. I took the journalists around New York and showed them how to work the app and all that. When Jitjatjo, they raised a little 30 million.
Yeah.
They raised 17 million. And then they got a new office and it just kind of like changed.
Right, changed up on that.
You know what I'm saying? They kind of like changed. You wasn't part of the
click no more. That's what happens when you get rid of the original regime.
The core.
Yeah. You bring in new people. It's just like record labels. You know what I mean? Like if you was already on a record label and then you get a whole new manager.
Perfect.
They're going to treat you like, who are you? Like,
perfect. Like perfect. Yeah.
Like, I didn't sign you. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Like
Exactly.
You're not under my wing, so I don't really care that much what happens if you say
That's how you got on there, man.
Yeah.
That's how you got on the app.
I said, man, look, I'm going to eat this up.
Right.
And then Little Island right after the Jabbas, I'm blessed, bro. That's one thing about my life. I've never been lucky a day in my life.
Just blessed.
But just straight blessed.
Just blessed.
To know that there's always something good after something closes for me.
Right.
Always something good. I never give myself enough credit for that because I overthink, damn, what's the next situation? Or I try to map out something that probably isn't going to happen.
Right,
but the fact that I try to do these things, I think that's why I get so blessed.
Right.
That those opportunities open up for me because I'm always thinking of what's next.
Right.
I'm never satisfied with what I got going on. Even if I got something that's great going on, don't get me wrong. But I always just have this notion in my head that it could be better. Or what if it could be better?
Right.
Like, what about you though?
Yeah. My story is crazy how I got on the app.
Yeah.
My story crazy how I got on the app. I was going through a tough time, bro.
I felt it when I first met you, man.
I was going through a tough time coming out of a crazy situation. I had a company called Urban Recycling, bro. I had lost everything in the first Trump administration, bro. Things was crazy, bro. I mean, I always tell my sons, and I tell everybody, men are motivated out of 2 things, desperation and inspiration.
Yeah.
And I was motivated out of desperation. Things were so bad. I lost the house, the family, the Porsche, the range. Everything was ugly for me at the time. And I was desperate, and I couldn't take it no more. Bro, I remember I was going to rob a bank, bro.
I'm glad you did.
Bro, I was going to rob a bank. I remember the bank clearly, 40th Street and 8th Avenue, right by the parole office. I don't know why that was the bank I picked in my mind, bro. I remember being on the 4 train, leaving Fordham Road, heading down to go rob this bank, bro. And I remember getting down to 42nd Street. That was my stop. Somebody threw something on the tracks, and they stopped us right there.
Yeah.
But you can like see, but you couldn't. They wasn't pulling into the train, wasn't pulling into the station. And I remember waiting, and I remember just pulling out my phone. We had a little bit of reception. I pulled up and I went to YouTube. The first thing that came on my timeline was a dude robbing a bank. And he was leaving the bank with all the money, and an undercover cop off-duty cop just happened to be in the bank. And Kyle was leaving with all the bag of money, and that dude killed him. The off-duty cop unlifed him. And I said, man, this is a sign from Allah.
No, I'm telling you, man.
This is a sign from Allah. I said, damn, I said, man, let me just stroll. Let me go to Craigslist because that's where you probably. It was no Indeed. I didn't know about Indeed or nothing like that. So I went. That was
the hottest thing. That was the Indeed for them.
I went to Craigslist and they looked and said dishwasher. I said, I'm gonna take anything, man.
At this point.
And I went and it was a dishwasher interview immediately. Like it was happening right then and there. So when I got off the train, I remember it was down on Cosby Street, down in Soho, and in that right off of Canal. And I remember going into that interview. It was mad people there. It was like a whole people there, and they showed us a video. I'm like, where the dishwashing job? All these pretty girls and all these people.
Yeah, that's how they get you to reel you in.
And then we came to the interview, and they showed the tape. They said, this is a new thing, an app where you press and you can see whatever job you want and you can go to these jobs.
Right.
And I remember going to the interview and I'm just talking to this lady. I'm gonna keep it so real, bro. The lady was like, "You sure your name was Jose? I know. You sure your name is Thomas?" I'm like, "Yeah, my name is Thomas." But I'm acing the interview.
Right.
But she's asking me, "Are you sure your name is Thomas?" I'm like, "Yes." And come to think of it, she gave me the spot. I remember walking out. My name was Jose on the
shirt.
The shirt. I had a handyman shirt that I was going to rob. You see what I'm saying? But that's why she kept saying your name. And I wound up getting down with them and wound up doing my first gig with them. And then the hustler in me. Yeah. Take it back to my grandfather in Tennessee. The hustler, my great-grandfather. The hustler inside of me.
Right.
I used to go up in there because you could used to go to the office and you could stay on the app, sit at your house and wait for a job and then press it. You can do that. I used to go down there.
Yeah. Be at the spot.
And be like, yo,
I'm here,
and then start gassing them. Yeah. 5 days straight, y'all. Let's go for 6. Yeah. And they be like, yeah, Thomas is here. You're 20 days straight, y'all. Let's get up to 30. Come on, guys. So anytime a job would come into their head, I'm first of mind.
Yeah, facts.
I'm first of mind because they be like, Thomas is here. Give it to Thomas.
That's the strategy, man.
And just strategy. That's anything you do, you got to have strategy and
what makes you stand out more than anybody else. That's the goal. Like, people would think, yo, you trying to step on their toes. It's not that, bro. Like, we living in a life, bro. If you ain't speaking up for yourself, nobody gonna speak up for you. Yeah. Nobody gonna hand you $300 and be like, because you look like you know how to work. What makes you look like you know how to work? Yeah. Is it your conversation that you're having? Is it your point of thoughts that you're telling these people what you can do and what you can't do?
Right.
Like, is it when they're watching you work and they seeing like, wow, this guy is not lazy, or this guy is too lazy for me. I don't think I want him no more. You know what I mean? Like, what makes you stand out?
Exactly. Tore them up. Yeah. Tore them up. Then they start raising the money because it was an amazing system. They had amazing leadership at the time. And then they wound up going to One Greenwich or One Liberty Plaza where Convene is at. Yeah. They wound up partnering with them. And then I wound up getting lucky and getting a job at Columbia University through them.
Right.
And Columbia University liked it so much they bought me from them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it ain't like slave shipping.
No, I feel what you mean.
But they threw them. They gave them 5,000. Said, "Yo, we want this guy so bad."
It's between their contract.
Yeah, from the temp, we give you 5,000 so we can just keep Thomas. Right. And I wound up taking a job at Columbia because I remember walking to Columbia like, damn, if I could ever get a job here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's about a thought. Like, you can make a thought. If you got a thought in your mind, it's going to anybody. It's gonna happen. You got a thought in your mind and you want that thought and you ready to put down for that thought, you get it. Because that was just my dream at the time.
Right.
Let me just get a job at Columbia University.
I could do the rest.
You know what I'm saying? I could do the rest. Yeah. I wound up getting the Wall Street Journal inside the Wall Street. And I'm walking with the journalists. And they was like, how do you know this? How are you so good at this? And I threw Columbia University.
Of course.
I said, they training is so good. I got a guy named Prima. He trains me. He's such a great leader. And then they wound up getting that article. It was like, yo, we got to have this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was dope. That's you know what I'm saying? I wound up leaving Columbia because I seen a bigger vision.
Right.
And I said, let me get out of here because I see a bigger vision.
And that's what I said too earlier. Like, don't ever be content with something.
Can't be.
Unless it's like, yo, if you feel like that's the best thing for you,
right,
do that.
It was great at the time.
Like, if it pays the bills, it takes care of your family, and you get to travel off that, because that's my main 3 things, man: getting money, paying bills, taking care of family, and obviously traveling. Right?
Take. Let's go to family for a second. Your father?
Big time. Big time.
Kind of knew that because we had to reschedule. Tell me about that. We had to reschedule. Who party was it?
So it was my daughter's party. She just turned 11. Penny. Shout outs to Penny. I hope you're in bed right now.
Right.
Big party. We're supposed to do Disneyland, but me and mom talked about it. Let's do that for her big 13. We want to surprise her and give her all the good stuff. But it was a great party. Her and my sister's birthday was like around the same time. So it was like Penny for party for Penny real quick.
Right.
Do a little something, then grown folks later.
Right.
So it ended up being nice. Dinner was beautiful. My daughter enjoyed it. She had plenty of gifts. Everybody loves Penny. And then, like I said, we did vibes with my sister.
Right.
And it was a great turnout, man.
Yeah, but that's dope, man.
Being a father of a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old, I call them Shaq and Kobe because they got that mentality. They hate each other depending on the day and the time.
Right.
So I gotta be Phil Jackson in this whole thing.
I like that.
Like, like what makes it a great dynamic to be a part of is that I get to I get to challenge them both.
Right.
In ways that they didn't think they could be challenged. Or I get them to do things, right? Like, again, it's all about strategic moves with the mind. So, like, again, just tell them to do certain things and how you say it.
Right.
Like, and they'll do it without even knowing that they're doing it. And then they come to you and like, damn, you got me to do this. I ain't even know I'm doing this. Like, my son was never a football kid. Never liked sports. He was just karate, maybe soccer from time to time.
Right.
But he started getting taller and he was fast. So I'm like, yo, man, I'm telling you, man, you probably be one of the nicest wide receivers or cornerback. And then he still wasn't jacking it. But then I showed him a video of Charles Woodson, one of my favorite corners of all time. Michigan. He played in Michigan, one of my favorite teams.
Yeah, I know Charles, yeah.
And
he played, I think.
Oakland when he got into the league.
He get busy. He got busy.
Oh, my God.
He had the tuck rule. He had that tuck rule with
against the Brady in that
Super Bowl. Yeah.
So
bad boy. That bad boy.
Guy, man.
Yeah.
So I showed my son a video of him. He's like, man, he tough.
Yeah.
And again, my kid did not like any sports. So when I showed him that, it kind of like enlightened him. And like 2 days later, he came to me. He's like, yo, Dad, I seen a flyer online for flag football. I want to know if we could sign up for him. I'm like, oh, you don't even like sports. I try to downplay it so he think like, nah, man, I'm not about to spend no bread. He's like, nah, Dad, I'm telling you, if you get me in here and we could train, you help me out, we can make moves. I'm like, all right, man. My head, I'm jumping for joy.
You happy?
Yeah,
I
my boy.
know the feeling.
But I had to show him straight face. Cause I'm like, nah, man.
Right.
I'm gonna talk to your moms, even though I already had it in my head. Like, yeah, we locked in now. Like, this kid's immaculate.
That's
football
dope.
right
That's
now,
amazing,
right?
bro.
It might not be his
That's
future,
what it's about. Yeah, right.
But right now, we loving Sunday football when we go to practices.
Right.
No drop balls. Like in the first maybe I want to say like month. Horrible. He had the mindset.
Right.
But the skill set wasn't there. Horrible. We worked through that. Like coaches would work through it with him through the week. I would do my thing with him during the weekend.
Beautiful.
He's turned up right now.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know you have let's go to sports for a minute, but let me just jump back a little and then go into sports.
What about you? You kids?
Yo, kids, married? Yeah. I got amazing two amazing boys, married for 27 years.
Nice.
My wife, she don't play no games, B.
They never do.
My wife thugged it out with me. I run businesses, but I get caught up in some craziness.
No. I mean, we live in nature.
Dog, I get caught up in some madness.
We live in nature.
Just ran this lady through umpteen tours. I mean, man. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So when I got jammed up and messed everything up, for her to flip on me, she had the right to because 100%. She had already done the bids with me.
Yeah.
She had already seen me build these giant companies and these $1 million businesses. And for me to mess them all up and go to prison, now she got to drag these kids up to this Attica, Comstock, Clinton, mid-state, upstate, downstate, Rikers Island, you know what I'm saying? And then come home and then mess up again. So when I messed up the last time, she had the right to say, man, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She had the right, but she know I bring it all back and we come all back and we make it a beautiful family. I got two amazing boys. I got Karan, it's the youngest.
Yeah.
Amazing, dope scholar. He don't play no games straight. No sex till I'm married. Straight Muslim. Don't play no games.
That's real Muslim.
You know what I'm saying? He don't play no games. Fasting in the month of Ramadan. Never ate pork in his life. I whistle the dawn in his ear. Allahu Akbar, Allah. As soon as he came out the womb.
Right.
Then I got the oldest. His name is Tycoon Taj. He's the amazing of the amazing. Multi-millionaire stock type. The crypto king, investing, the handsome, tall. I'm super blessed, alhamdulillah. People say they wealthy, but I'm really wealthy.
Nah, word. I always
no
say,
stress, no nothing.
Wealth ain't this, man.
Nah, you got
wealth is the happiness.
You know, the happiness, and my sons could call me all the time. 50 Cent got all the money in his world, but can he call his oldest son?
Yeah.
His oldest son call him and say, Dad, what you think about this? Dad, what you...
Right.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
These kids got millions, these people got millions of dollars, billions of dollars, but do they sons call them and say, Dad, this is what I'm going through.
Right.
Dad, what you think about this? That's what it's about.
Nah, it's 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I got two of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah, he Rabbil me and his Ramadan. Thank you, man. I'm blessed. I'm 55 years old, still could shake out.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? Work out with my sons. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people at this age stage, man, they can't function well, man.
Yeah,
and the fact that we get to still wake up, function how we want to function, and still have the ability to do things.
Right.
All praise.
Yo, praise, man. It's a dope feeling, man. It's a dope feeling. I go back a little bit because we talked about sports. But before we jump into sports, you had built this app. Because remember, in this ecosystem, in this hospitality hopscotch thing, that we want all of y'all to try to look it up in the Instawork, the Jitjatjos, and try to get y'all a couple of dollars. It probably, it's kind of crowded right now, but just see where you fit in. Get in where you fit in and have it in your holster. Do your thing, but have it in your holster just in case you need it. Yeah. But they have chats.
Oh, yeah.
And you built they have a couple of great chats.
No, 100%.
Great chats. You built one, was called the Legends chat. It was a great chat.
Well, the Legends, it wasn't mine per se. Right. Let's just say, let's start off with Instawork Crew, right? That was that was the first one. But even before then, it started off in iMessage. Okay. But then I noticed iMessage would only allow you to have a certain amount of people in the group. Right. So I'm like, damn, this shit about to blow up. Like I saw the vision, bro. Right. You wasn't at Pelham yet, but it was me, China, Lima was there, Voice was there, a couple. It was like maybe 10, like 10 people that off the ham. Can't remember everybody, but if y'all watching and I ain't get your names in the mention, y'all know I love y'all anyway.
That's a fact.
But once I saw, this not gonna be enough. Like this shit about to take off, and I felt the takeoff coming, man. Right. When I noticed that we worked the 4th of July one day and we was making $60 an hour, I was like, yo, this shit gonna take off. People gonna catch wind, and businesses gonna want to get more people involved in their business.
Remember, you might do 12 hours. You might do 12 hours on the 4th of July. So we talking about 60. You talking about going home with $700 a day. Y'all dudes in the street ain't even getting that. Y'all dudes in the street ain't even getting that. Stop it.
Fiends ain't
y'all risking your life and y'all ain't even getting no $700 a day. Listen, stop it.
The fiends ain't
hospitality hopscotch. Stop it.
The fiends ain't fiends like how they used to be before, man.
Stop it.
Even people our age or younger is fiends now. So it ain't what they used to be. So if you looking for like legit numbers in your pocket, I always say, man, find something like you said. It might be a saturated market. Right. But at the end of the day, you're gonna find a pocket that fits for you.
And then look at my newsletter because I'll show you how to get money. If you sign up for my newsletter, I might put in the description, hit that link. It show you how to get some money, man. I know all the tricks of the trade, but go ahead.
When we started, with the WhatsApp, I looked and I saw, like 200 people could be added because iMessage was only giving me 50. I'm like, nah, I know way more than 50 on my own, in life. Right. I'm gonna need 200. Boom. It started clicking off. And the only reason why I thought of that, right? Because again, I'm gonna make it known, everybody know, you can always check the stats. It was the first group chat on WhatsApp for this particular hospitality industry to ever be made. Right. So people will take credit for that. And for those who really know, you know what I mean? For anybody that's new coming in, I don't really care because you the baby to the game. So you know what I mean? So it don't really matter what your opinion or your thoughts
work your way up, man.
Yeah, like it don't really matter. But for the OGs that know, who've been around the game, they know who really started what, right? And when that happened, and I saw the takeoff, because I kept saying, man, I can't work every gig. I'm not greedy, right? Like if it's for me, I'm gonna be greedy for me. But if I know it's for the masses, I can't work every gig. So I say, yo, what's a great way to like help people who need it more than me? Because I know what I could do for myself and on my own, right? But there's people who, I don't want to say they illiterate or anything like that, but there's people who are a little slower learning, or who take a little longer to learn how to chop up vegetables or understand the different boards that you need for certain meals that you might be preparing for. You know what I mean? So, but me on the other hand, I knew these things because I took the time to like take the courses, Save Serve, alcohol tips, certification.
And then with using that WhatsApp, you was able to transfer. What was the whole agenda of it? What was the goal of it? Be able to transfer jobs up to other people or get other people money?
The links that would come in for the gigs that we used to have, I'd be like, let me post it on WhatsApp. This person could probably click on it and they could probably get the gig. And if they don't have the requirements, before, like how it is now, like you need all these cyber requirements to get into the game and do all that. It wasn't like that. You didn't need no phone call and speak to somebody for a coach. Ain't none of that, man. All you needed to know was basic stuff. Learn not to cut yourself while you cutting up some veggies. You know what I mean? Regular stuff.
Get a little quiz on the app.
A little quiz that, you know. But I always said, don't cheat it, because at the end of the day, when you go into these places, they gonna know if you the real deal or not. Like it looked like you the real deal on the app, but once you get to chopping and they ask you what's a mandolin, you don't know what a mandolin is. I thought you was the guy. I thought you was this top notch person. You know, when you're not that, you know, the boot come quick.
That they're gonna block you after that.
That boot come quick.
I see you had that chat, and then let's jump into sports because I see after you left that chat, maybe we get into that another time when you come back. Because that chat was a little controversy. You walked away from that one and you built another one.
No, we could chop it up on that.
Yeah. Tell me about it. What happened, man? What happened when you walked away from that one?
So it was a lot of snake. It was a lot of snake stuff going on. And one thing about me, like I always say this, like for someone not to like me is because you hate the fact that everyone else does. That's a fact. Because what's there not to like? I don't come off like arrogant. Like I'm who. Perfect example. I compare myself to Shador Sanders right now because people hate the Rolly flex or the chain, but whose is that?
Right.
Deion Sanders, the man who two-stepped into the end zone after catching interceptions, and taking it to the house, or punt returns and taking it to the house. I pride myself on who I am. I'm never gonna downplay. Like I know I'm fire. Like I'm gonna walk into the spot. I know I'm fire. Like it could be someone more fire than me. And I know he more fire than me. But guess what? I'm not gonna let that person know he more fire than me. Because guess what? I'm a man at the end of the day. It's like shark in the water. We could smell the blood. Right? So if I know this person knows I think weak or low of myself, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna pounce on me every chance they get. That's how people get bullied in life. Even if you can't fight, bro, swing. Swing on somebody, bro. You're gonna connect on one. You might get beat up at the end of the day. But that person that beat you up, in the back of their mind, if you swing hard enough and you hit them and it connect, they're gonna think twice, 3 times.
So what happened? Why you walked away though? What happened?
I had to walk away because, like I said, some vibes. Yeah, like energy is real. Right? If I feel it and I know it's real, it's a lot of things that people did that just didn't sit well with me. So let me give you my opinion. Yeah,
and I could be wrong. Let me give my opinion on it, and then you'll just validate or just say. My thing is this: when sometimes people had nothing growing up, they wasn't popular.
Right.
They didn't get a lot of girls.
Right.
They didn't have that image. They wasn't that person.
Say that.
When they get something, that's their whole thing.
That's the cop effect.
That's where they think they could get the girls from. That's where they make them popular. They not used to that.
They had the police officer effect.
And then they want it for themselves. Yeah. You become a threat.
Yeah.
You wasn't a threat in the beginning. You become a threat because this is their thing now. Yeah. And they don't want to let this thing go, and you become a threat. You're not even threatening them. You want to be
I'm in my corner.
Partnership. You just doing your lane. But they're afraid because this is the first time they had this thing.
Yeah, and it ain't, you're not the only, you ain't the first, you're not the only, and you probably won't be the last person to ever say that. And again, I be so far removed from shit like that I don't pay it no mind. So like when people come to me and tell me, yo, maybe this person just was mad at you. You're likable, or you go into gigs and the managers make you in charge.
Let me do some validation. I want to show you something what another guest came and said about you, because your brand is really what people say behind your back. People can say anything in your face. You say anything in your face. That's people always. But what do people say behind your back? And I had somebody on my show, and I want you to see what they said. I'm just gonna let you see what they said. Just look at what this person said.
I give a shout out to Cece, who
that's what that really, person said.
Opened up the doors.
That's valid.
Good guy.
Gigs back to back.
I bang with Z.
We got him lined up too.
Z been the homie though. That's the thing. See, it's people like that will always understand high value of another person. Like, because again, Z was fresh in the game. She came in. Shout out to Zulima. Right, we're gonna start with that. Shout out to shout out to you, Zulima. She came into the game fresh, and I remember too, she used to come into the chat. She came into the chat, and I think I had a whole bunch of JFK gigs. And I would always toss it up. Zelina was me first. Me. Everybody used to be mad at her, like, yo, I think y'all just playing with us.
Right.
How she always get the game. I'm like, bro, she active.
Right.
She by the phone like how I was. Yo, when Instawork first came out, I'm refreshing.
Right.
Refresh. No gigs was popping up for hours, bro. But guess what? I'm refreshing. So you gotta be active in this game. Yeah, bro. When the money calling, you gotta pick up.
I see you now. Walked away from that chat. Started a new one.
Oh yeah.
This one is sports and stocks.
Sports and stocks related, man.
Yeah. So you rock sports. I see you making a couple dollars of sports betting.
Yeah,
I got my own opinion on that. Tell me about this. Tell me about this sports betting thing.
So, if you know me,
right.
Sports been my whole life. Like I think sports and real life go together so well. Right. You can compare all of those introverts together so well. Right. And once sport betting got legal in New York,
right,
I felt like that was like super advantage. Like that was a great advantage for people like who again want to make money.
Right.
And if you're knowledgeable of these things, you're going to make money.
Right.
And you see the numbers.
Right.
It ain't baby money we making.
Right.
When
That's
we do
a
the
fact.
sports.
That's a fact.
I throw up some good lucrative amount.
It's true.
And I make back some good lucrative. Don't get me wrong. I get my ass whipped certain weeks too.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm making more than I'm losing out here because it ain't for everybody. Like I always tell people, it ain't for you, man. And if you're doing what I'm doing, shorten up your plays, man.
Right. Because they start chasing you. I'm watching the chat. They might start chasing you.
Yeah, and they lose. And they lose, and they looking at me like, yo, bro, I thought you was
right.
I'm like, yo, it's not every day you winning, man. That's just how the game goes. And I can't control who's on the field or who on the court. If he get injured, that killed, and that was the only person that might have killed my parlay, or my single play. I ain't nothing I could do about that. I just have faith in him and or her. Something happened, we can only chalk it up to the next day. That's just what it is. But I'm glad that I started that because all it did was again bring people along.
Right.
You just gotta make people believe. Like,
right.
If I show people my account and they see it and they like, damn, that's the first thing they say. Damn,
right?
Why do you even work?
Right.
I'm like, because I'm one of those people. Again, I don't want to just be sitting around and just thinking like I could rely on this sports betting real quick. There's more. There's too much money out here. I never understand.
You shouldn't be in the street. It's just too much money.
I never understand when people be like, yo, I don't got it right now. Like how, bro?
That's why I said people on the train begging. You don't really want to work. I'm gonna ask you these questions before we close out. I want to run it up a little bit more. I want to run about another 15 minutes because I got this great guy with me, man.
Appreciate it.
I want to ask you this. Because I'm seeing inside this ecosystem, this hospitality hopscotch, is a lot of people do the sports betting, but I do notice people can lose their position at these jobs because they bet and they on their phone. It's like addiction. They can't get off their phone. The managers see them on their phone constantly.
Yeah, you and I.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? And how can you ask them to help themselves? Because a lot of people getting jammed up because they trying to chase this money. Talk to them. They
chasing money while they getting money. That's the worst thing you could do. I always tell people that's the worst thing you do.
Right.
If you get money, right, focus on that money right then and there, right?
Thank you.
And then
thank you.
Go get the other bag, right? It's like working a shift. You can't work 2 shifts at the same time, right? So finish the first shift, get to the next one. I always say, yo, like, this spots me and you worked at recently. I'm not gonna say no names, but recently, you was doing your thing. I was cutting up some of my things too.
Right.
But I was also showing you my betting life while we was working. Right. I had a little downtime, but I know I wasn't supposed to be on the phone.
Right.
But the thing is with me, I look at it like this too. I did a shortened play. And I kept coming to you. I'm like, yo, look, man.
Yeah. You was running.
Like if you,
that was just a good day for us.
It was a great day.
Baseball,
bro.
It was in the summer,
bro.
Yeah.
I was eating it up, man.
Yeah.
Listen, and I always say, like, instead of doing a parlay, let's say you at a gig, right? Focus on just one team or one player and put a nice little bag on it.
Looking all crazy.
When there's 50 niggas on the ticket, 20 niggas on the ticket, you mad distracted. Like, keep scrolling. You gotta go back, add another person. Nah, man. You did one thing only, or a couple, like 3 pieces on there.
Right.
But for the most part, if you know you in a spot and they not jacking the phone,
a lot of places not jacking that phone because they betting and they like it's because it's big in our because they trying to they getting a couple of dollars. They want to bet. They on their phone looking crazy. They go in the bathroom 90 times. They trying to do what they supposed to do. They just on their phone. I mean, like, dog, they gonna get blocked. They about to blow the bag.
You body whatever assignment they give you, kill that shit, bro. Right? And you probably gonna go to them and say, yo, is there anything else I could do? And they're gonna give you something, body that shit too.
Right.
And then go back to them. They're like, damn, you saw how it was for me that day. They was like, damn, you done already?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. In my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm done because I want to go get these parlays in too. And they was like, you know what? Take 5. Go get a break. I'm like,
that's when you do that.
That's how you smooth it out.
That's when you do that.
How you smooth it out.
Do that. I got 2 more questions. I got one going into this one. I like to ask this question. I want to ask you, if you had an opportunity, matter of fact, let me go to another question. I got something for you. What's your end strategy with this hospitality hopscotch thing? What's your end strategy? What's your exit strategy? Like, how do you see this in another couple of years? Where you see it going? How do you feel about it?
When I first started, right, I'm still motivated for it though. When I first started, because like I said, the people that I had to like distance myself from, when I first started with them, I wanted to put another collab together where it was to start a new app of doing hospitality, and it wasn't just Instawork, because I know so many people that are so good at this hospitality game. Right. I felt like starting up an app, right, I would have put those people on as like managers or like shift leads or captains, right? Obviously, I want to give it whole different names because we don't never want to follow a trend that already like is something like
ship that sells.
Yeah, you always want to give something that you're starting fresh, a fresh idea, fresh new mind, fresh new faces, fresh new everything. So when the core group of people that I was with fell through the cracks, it kind of like not diminished me as a person, it diminished my ways of thinking of gathering people together and putting something good together, because I'm like, damn, these niggas snaked me, bro. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And all I ever thought of was, again, not me, because I know what I can do. I'm capable of all amazing things because of how I push myself and how I progress in certain in places. But I knew other people weren't good in certain things, right? So like, if I knew you wasn't good at cooking, look, here's what I could put you on to. This gonna help you. This app called Tasty. Go download the app. It's gonna show you step-by-step stuff to learn how to cook, whatever appliances you need to learn how to cook. Cool. But then again, I lost that passion to get people together to do things. So but I started, slowly building those back up. Shout out to Mace too, man. Another person that was always intricate. Yeah, she was always intricate in my life.
She did the weddings. I did my first Afro-American wedding. I was so proud. I got the contract to do this. Again, another shout out to Miss Sharon Bond. Her daughter, Jackie. Appreciate y'all so much, man. Gave me my first opportunity to do my first black wedding, my first contract, and I brought Jamaica in.
That's fire, bro.
Really appreciate that.
That's another person, like I said, played an intricate part of my life, because there was times when, bro, I wanted to either end somebody, right? Or like when I seen, like, I just wanted to go find some of these cats and really deal with them on a street level type. But she would always reel me back in, like, it was, you're bigger than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like in those instances of when I started thinking like that, if it wasn't for her, it would have been bad business for me, you know what I mean? But because she was so like well grounded about certain things, very soft, very caring type of person, right? She always made me feel like, yo, you're way better than that. We don't even need to indulge. So now I come into this space now, and I'm gonna say because of her, I come into this space now, even now, bro, like I'll get into not even altercation, but like if I feel like the energy ain't right, again, I'll just remove myself. You'll never hear from me, bro. Like it's just like that. Like so I'm always big her up for stuff like that.
Appreciate it. I love. Hats off to you, Jamaica.
No, for sure. And it just made me more understanding, like, yo, not everyone's gonna like you. And it's not because you did anything wrong or you're a bad person. It's just they might not like themselves.
They might not say. So what would be your exit strategy though?
Exit strategy would still probably be the getting the app.
The app. I wanted to go the app route too. It cost me a couple dollars, so I just started with a better staffing solution.
No, 100%.
That's the name I just started. Just went right at it.
Just do that
and just try to
app.
just get the contracts and just go at them.
Just get people,
because there's so much going on in New York.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in New York. You can grab those little contracts, and when the contracts are not popping, you just go back.
Let
to
it go.
app.
Yeah.
Exit strategy. Remember, prepare for war in time of peace.
That's a fact.
Prepare for war in time of peace, because you only want to be motivated by inspiration, like Jay-Z. Yeah. He's always inspired by inspiration. He's not motivated by desperation.
Right.
In desperation, you start wanting to do all this type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. It's a difference. I love Dame Dash.
You grounded.
Love Dame Dash.
When you're moving off desperation, you're left, right, up, center, down.
When inspiration is a different feeling. It's a different passion. I'm going to ask you, and we're going to close out with these questions. And I'm going to ask you this. If you had a Monday night, person could be dead or alive, and it was a Monday night that you had to go to a nice dinner with, to just have a conversation with, who would it be? Second, if it was Friday and you wanted to have a person dead or alive to go party with on a Friday, who would it be? And lastly, if on a Sunday, a nice Sunday brunch, and have a conversation with somebody, who would those three people be?
Monday would probably be my son at a Knicks game, because we love the Knicks.
Monday night Knicks game.
Monday night Knicks.
Who would they be playing?
It wouldn't matter. Like, as long as we in the spot, we good with Monday night. As long as we in the spot on a Monday night and the Knicks game is on, we did, because we're big Knicks fans at the house.
They're playing Lakers tonight, but anyway.
Yeah, man. This road trip going.
Yeah, -2.5. Who you like?
I'm mad. I still like the Knicks, but the Lakers been going crazy.
Yeah, man, 7-game winning streak.
And they defense.
I know my sports too now, don't. But that sports betting got me in trouble. I ain't gonna tell that sports betting. No, not tonight. But anyway, go ahead.
It would definitely be Monday night with my son, Knicks game,
dope.
for sure.
That's dope. How about Friday night party? Partying with somebody Friday night.
It would be Buffy. A lot of people don't know who this is, but
Buffy the Body?
Nah.
Oh, man. I was about to say.
Buffy the Body's fire too. Though. A lot of people don't know that.
She might be washed up. I don't know where she at. A body like that 10, 15 years ago, I don't know if she maintained that.
It's not
I
the same.
doubt it.
I guarantee.
But get
Buffy is somebody that was close to me back in maybe like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like real
tight,
grown. Yeah, tight.
You a party with him?
It was a girl, actually.
Was it a party with her?
Yeah, she was fire. We just never, made it through. But definitely a great person to hang out with, especially on a Friday night.
Good vibe, huh?
Sunday would be my dad. Like, God rest his soul, died last year.
But bless him, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Paradise.
I learned a lot quickly, because my dad is a person that a man with few words, right? But gets his point across.
Wow.
Yeah, he might just look at you and you understand what he's saying. And I never understood it. As a kid, you don't understand, like, when your dad says certain things to you, like, yo, make sure the ladies are always supposed to be protected in the family. The guys are always going to be guys. They're going to scrape their legs. They're going to get back up and they're going to get to it, right? But the women, they're going to scrape their legs. You got to make sure they're good, because guess what? They're going to nurture you when you down and out,
serious.
right? They're going to make sure you're good. They're going to rub your back. They're going to rub your feet. They're going to set your water up coming from a 12-hour, 14-hour, 16-hour shift.
Serious.
But what you got to do, you got to make sure they're protected, because if they feel protected, that's love in their eyes, right? You don't play about them, so they're not going to play about you when it's your time, right? So that's the number one guy, I think, on Sunday brunch, because
that's real right there, man.
Funny guy, man. Chop it up.
That's dope, man.
Give great advice. Like I said, few words, but gets that point across.
That's real, man.
How about you?
I answer the question every time differently, because I have so many people after being over 5 decades in my life.
What would be your different answer today?
Every time I got, because after 5 decades, I'm gonna give you every time. Monday, I'm going with Mom Dukes.
Mom Dukes.
I'm going with Mom Dukes on a Monday, just to come sit her down, because Mom Duke was like a gangster, hustler, grinder, and then I would sit her down in a beautiful restaurant and say, "Mom, chill out, Mom. That's free.
Get rowdy.
Chill out, Mom. That's free." And then she'd just be talking to me, man.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Moms, man.
And just me and Mom just go at it and just be, because I lost at 11.
Yeah, that's
11 years
tough.
old. So, And then me and her just be kicking it. She'd be like, Tom, you know you effed up there. Tom, you know you had it.
I love how raw they keep it though, man.
Tom, you know you had that car, sir. You had all those cars, boy. You had $1 million in cars, driving all those rappers around. How you messed that up? Come here, bop. And I mean, Mom, this is a restaurant. Mom, stop it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Mom be grinding. She be like, oh, I could do this here. Mom, I be like, Mom, we here to eat.
Yeah.
She's scheming how to. Oh, I can do this, and I could do this, Mom.
I mean, we just here to eat.
We just here to eat, Mom. We just chill with Mom. You know what I'm saying? Just chill, just enjoy. And she be telling me, my little brothers, I don't care what you and your brother going through. Yeah. You go back and you see your little. I be like, yeah, Mom, I got Dee Dee, and she be like, I like the way you and Dee Dee. I like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how my mom's was. She don't say much, but when it was time to say much, but she was a grinder. Friday, I'm a rock with I'm gonna rock with Bob Marley on a Friday, just jamming.
Bob Marley.
I'm gonna let Bob just jam.
That's a good way to start the weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna just jam with Bob and let him just jam. Yeah. And then I can say after he finished jamming, then I go in the back with him and then kick it with Bob on a Friday. After we jam and he sweat and they know I'm down with Bob and I'm getting all the girls and all that and I got everything lined up for later, I go in the back with Bob Marley and just kick it with Bob.
100%. That's a good Friday.
Kick it with Bob. Just kick it with him before I roll out. Your Bob, I'm out. He be like, I'm out too. I gotta go back, man. I just stay waiting for me upstairs, man. Thank you, man, calling me down one more jam session. And he roll out. And then the brunch, I'm gonna go with my grandma. Okay. My grandma on my father's side.
She must have been the coolest one.
Dopest. She gonna curse me out. She gonna curse me out. She gonna be, and we at brunch. She gonna have her everything beautiful,
right?
Cause she gonna say, "I'm doing the brunch. Right. I'm cooking the brunch." Grandma Tina, you know I'm Grandma Tina, tall, dope Grandma Tina. She gonna cook the brunch.
Make the biscuits from scratch. We love that. We love the GG.
She gonna get me there, and she gonna keep it real with me.
Yeah.
And she gonna know where I'm going wrong, and she gonna tell me, "I don't like that."
Yeah, she gonna line you up.
I don't like that. I don't like what your Uncle Calvin did this for you. I don't like that.
Right.
She going, I don't like the way you not calling family. I don't like that. I don't like this and I don't like that. I don't like that.
Nah, that's big though.
Grandma Tina she keep it real. I love the way you doing your entrepreneurship. I love everything you doing, but I don't like this. Right. I don't like that, and I don't like that.
Right. She gonna
she might say one thing she gonna say, I love the way you raised those boys. Because one thing about my grandma before we end, it used to be Ramadan.
Yeah.
And Ramadan fell one year. It fell on Thanksgiving.
Right.
So everybody's eating this big meal, but we fasting because we Muslims. So I got my sons, they not eating.
Right.
And everybody's eating this beautiful big meal, and we just standing on the side. And Grandma Tina like, God damn it, you feed those boys. I don't want no Muslim, let them boys eat. This ain't right now. Let them boys eat now. I don't care about no Rama, no Muslim, no none of that. Let them boys eat today.
So I'm assuming she wasn't Muslim.
She wasn't Muslim.
Yeah, she was ready to chow down.
My pops was Jewish, and we Muslim, which is crazy. Right. She Christian, my pops is Jewish, and we Muslims, but this is crazy. But and then I was like, Grandma, they good. And my son, the oldest, was stamped. Said, Grandma, I'm okay, Grandma. Yeah. And she was like, you know what? It worked. 30 years later, look at them boys still fasting.
It worked out. And the fact that they was at that age to say, nah, Grandma, we good.
We good, Grandma.
It means they already had it.
Yeah, it was installed. Yeah, and she was like, I like that. Yeah. She would say, I like that. I thought it was crazy then, but I like that. However, I don't like what you did with this. I don't like what you're doing that. Yeah. Call your Aunt Susie more. Call Christine more. Especially call your Aunt Carol more. And you better call Cynthia tonight. Right. And that's what I'm going to do when I get out of here. I appreciate you coming. I'm going to call my Aunt Cynthia. Bro. Appreciate you coming spending this time with me. Really do, man. I appreciate it, man. From the heart, man. This is a better conversation, man. We don't care about views. We don't care about bringing in nobody with all this extra nine. We don't care about that. This is a better conversation, heart to heart, man.
I don't come outside much. But for people like you, I'm always come outside.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I'm going to jump off the porch for you anytime.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that. With that, we gone. Better conversation with Thomie Israel. Y'all better like and subscribe because we appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Better conversation. If you know you've been following me from day one, I'm on Instagram, Finding Summit.
You heard?
Just like it's spelled. Finding Summit if day ones, if y'all need to come up here and let something off your chest, this is like a therapy session. Y'all want to come up here and just let it off your chest. If you've been following me, holla at me, DM me. Come on up here, man. Let it off your chest, man. This is what it's all about.
Yo, good times.
Appreciate you, man.
You're ready.
You gone. Better conversation.